Vem, vem. Yay, yay. egg turtles. difícil, velho. Shell shock.
exams, but I still had the time to go and play some Monster Hunter World to do a few quests. I just was not compelled to log into the game, to be honest. The game was pretty stale at that point, and Arc-Tempered monsters were somewhat of a disappointment, since we didn't get any new moves and the rewards weren't really all that great. Although I actually liked to fight Arc-Tempered Valhazak, the fight was a bit different, and seeing Valhazak go to different parts of the map was a small little detail that we got, but I just couldn't find it in myself to do that hunt more than 10 times, which I think is the amount of times that I completed it. Additionally, the endgame in Monster Hunter World isn't really all that great, it's just farming for decorations. And yes, I know that farming is essentially the gameplay loop that is true to every Monster Hunter game. I know that, I have been playing Monster Hunter since Freedom 1, but it's just that I would have liked to have gotten a more compelling endgame with the fact that we don't have that many monsters to fight. We have, what, 30 monsters, large monsters in Monster Hunter World, and if you are farming for decorations, you are likely only going to be farming some tier 3 monsters, so that's the older dragons that we have, excluding Xeno'jiiva and Zora Magdaros. And you can also count Deviljho, since he also gives tier 3 decorations when you complete his tempered quest, although the tempered quest is only an event quest, so it may not always be available for you to fight, but the point is, endgame is about farming for the best stuff in the game. And in the case of Monster Hunter World, if you want to get the best decorations in the game, you need to be fighting these 7 monsters, which are Kirin, Nergigante, Lunastra, Teostra, Valhazak, Kushala Daora, and finally Deviljho, with of course the caveat of only being able to fight Tempered Deviljho whenever his event quest is up. So this means that you will be fighting these 7 monsters over and over again, and if you are a long-time series veteran, then you're going to be even more burnt out, because only 2 of those monsters are new to the Monster Hunter franchise. And this honestly sucks when the endgame grind is to keep on farming for these decorations that you don't have any control of which ones you're going to be getting at the end of the quest. You can only hope to get the best ones if you do the tier 3 investigations, but other than that, you don't have any control over the drop rates or any way to increase them. Whereas when you are fighting monsters and you want to get certain materials, you can cut the tail off or break the head in order to get an increased chance of getting that material, but with the decorations that is not possible, and it is slightly frustrating. And as a consequence of having so little monsters in the game, you will often find other hunters that are wearing the same sets, even mixed sets, as hunters you know, or sets that you are using yourself. This may seem like a small gripe to many of you, but having so few monsters in the game means that you have a much smaller room to express yourself and how you want your sets to be. If you are someone that likes to do things differently or just wants to be creative, well, having so few monsters in the game doesn't really allow you to explore your options very much, because most other people have already done so. Whatever it is that you are trying to achieve with your set most likely has already been done by a lot of people, and if you are a creative hunter, well, it just sucks, to be honest. And what also sucks is the weapon design in Monster Hunter World. Now, I don't know if the developers wanted to try something more realistic to appeal to the new Western players, but the fact of the matter is that the weapon designs in Monster Hunter World look very bare bones and nothing like the older Monster Hunter games, where you would see some crazy weapon designs. The developers were not afraid to have some fun with what they created. It doesn't need to be realistic. It doesn't need to go according to the lore or to the backstory of the era or the period or whatever. It's best when we have fun with the game, and so many of the crazy weapon designs that we have in the older games are missing, and when you compile all of these things together, well, It just makes the Monster Hunter World experience a lot more bland than the experience you had in the older games where everything popped out. There was color, there was vibrance, the game had a much more arcadey feel to it, which made the whole experience a lot more fun. Normally I would not have an issue with any one of these things that I pointed out, but when you combine all of them, you can't help but think that the game could perhaps be somewhat better than what we have right now. Additionally, and as many of you already know, my save files got corrupted a while ago, and just before I could download them from the cloud, as soon as I started the game again, it's uploaded the new save file onto the cloud, so I could not download my previous save file, which meant that I had to start over, and I ended up losing 400 hours of progress in Monster Hunter World. Now, I've been getting quite a bit of help from you guys and also some of the kind people at our Discord server, but having to go through the entire game again and having to farm for the same decorations that I had already gotten so that I can make the same builds that I have already made, so that I can do some encounters that I had already done, it just ends up burning me out. I'm sure you can understand where I'm coming from. I have already put 200 hours in this second playthrough, so combined that would be around 600 hours through these two save files, and you know, you just get tired after a while, you cannot help but feel burnt out, so I thought the best thing to do was just to stop playing the game. Now, that does not mean that I don't love the game, and as for that reason I still uploaded videos regarding Monster Hunter World because I love the community and I love the game and the gaming franchise as a whole, but I just couldn't make myself play the game a lot more than I already have. And to add insult to injury, I also have been going through a rough time. I'm not sure if it's anxiety or depression, but some family stuff have gotten me really down a few days, and although the YouTube channel and talking to you guys in the comments and on the Discord channel has helped me out a lot, there were times where I wasn't motivated to do anything at all, not even boot up the PlayStation 4 or any other gaming console or watching TV or whatever else. I didn't want to do anything but shut down. Thankfully, that part seems to be passing through, things have calmed down a bit and I'm doing much better, but that is one of the reasons as to why I stopped playing Monster Hunter World as well. As for what I said in regards to Monster Hunter World, I would just like to point out that I have been playing Monster Hunter since Freedom 1 and my very favorite Monster Hunter game in the series is Monster Hunter World. I know that many of you may not agree with this statement, but that is how I feel about the game. I am criticizing Monster Hunter World not because I hate the game, but because I am a very passionate fan that has eventually felt burnt out because of some of the mechanics and features that are present in Monster Hunter World. That being said, I am excited to get back on Monster Hunter World, hop on the summer festival and grind for those silly items. I am also really excited about the Final Fantasy XIV and Monster Hunter World crossover collaboration, and I really want to fight Behemoth and get that Dragoon armor set. That looks amazing. This is probably one of the best collaborations that any franchise has ever gotten. I really cannot help myself but be hyped as a fan of both franchises. And I guess I shouldn't be complaining too much since Monster Hunter World isn't like a complete title, since they will be adding new monsters every now and then, and so far we have always been getting them as a free update, which I cannot understate. It is amazing that Capcom is doing this at a time where so many developers try to milk as much money as they can out of their consumers, so much respect goes to the Monster Hunter developers. But with that, those are the reasons as to why I stopped playing Monster Hunter World. Like I said at the beginning of the video, you may not be able to relate to some of them, but hopefully this gives you an insight as to what is going on right now, in terms of right now and how I feel about the game. Anyways, if you have enjoyed this video for some reason, then please make sure to smash the hell out of the like button below for us, because you already know that your support is greatly appreciated, and be sure to subscribe and turn on channel notifications if you don't want to miss an ounce of Monster Hunter goodness. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. My name is N3RD, and happy hunting!
Yo, listen, I blew his house with the I have a blue house with a blue window.
Mici câtă hasă, mici din tăbas. Tu bagă-ți nasul ăsta, mă doar cu asul. Limba mișcă flow, dezmișcă libido. Mișcă cu tonul să-ți miști din tot mișnăută. E ligoarea, toba, bara și mișcă basul toată seara. De oane lumini marfă pe tobă. Hază și bazul se leagă pe treabă.
Hello hunters, my name is N3RD and welcome back to my... As a small bonus, by the end of the video we are also side of the collaboration. Let's get into it. To the details of the quest and what these new mechanics are. The quest where you hunt Behemoth is going to be called He Taketh It With His Eyes, and the main objective is of course to slay Behemoth, which will be classified as an elder dragon, so that means that Behemoth cannot be trapped, of course. You should augment your gear to at least have a decent shot at this quest. So with that, you have been advised. Also, the time limit for the quest is 35 minutes, and here you can see what is described as some special rules for the quest that features Behemoth. Multiplayer is highly recommended, drawing enmity is a good thing, and you can raise enmity by attacking the head of the monster, and you need to watch out for comments. Now this raises a few questions, such as what is enmity and why is multiplayer recommended for this quest? So the way this works is this fight takes a big inspiration from the fights we see in Final Fantasy XIV. Monsters have enmity, which is called in most games aggro, which is when a monster targets you, and by attacking the monster in the head, you are going to be raising the levels of enmity so that the monster starts to target you. And this is to basically simulate the roles you play in Final Fantasy XIV with each of the player classes. That is, the role of a healer, a tank and a DPS. As you can see, when someone draws enmity from Behemoth, you will have this red arrow pointing towards you so that you know that Behemoth is indeed aggroed towards you. Just like in Final Fantasy XIV, every party member will have a role to play. You will need someone to focus on chipping away at the Behemoth's health, and someone to draw the Behemoth's attacks by gaining enmity with defense-oriented weapons. And as we saw earlier, you can gain enmity by attacking Behemoth in the head. Use recovery items to help those who have gained the Behemoth's enmity. The wide range armor skill is highly recommended for this battle. So basically the ideal party composition would be a tank which would fight Behemoth head on and would raise enmity, a healer which would have wide range and other supportive skills so they can heal the entire party while they are fighting Behemoth, and of course 2 damage dealers, much like you would have a party to do an instance in Final Fantasy XIV. Guts, health boost and wide range are skills that are going to be recommended for fighting Behemoth. Additionally, it seems that Behemoth is weak against the water elements and weapons that cause abnormal status like paralysis. And just like in the Final Fantasy games, Behemoth will be dropping some meteors throughout the hunt, and these meteors will actually play a big
You gotta get the lame one. You came in his ass. That's up. It get real cold up in here right now. Check this out. Them seals, a whole bunch of seals or walruses? Okay, walruses, because see, seals don't got long teeth like that. Oh, polar bear. Don't he eat walruses? Wait a minute. There's too many of them. He gonna get one of y'all. If I was one of the walruses, I'm jumping right in the